Were you persuaded to move your NHS, armed forces, or police pension to another provider? If so, please do not skip this video because you could be owed thousands in compensation. Click the link in this video and take our 60-second assessment to see if you have been affected. The Financial Conduct Authority, the financial regulator, in their market-wide review, has recently said that they are concerned that nearly 75% of people had transferred their workplace pension after receiving advice.
180 pension scams were reported to them last year with an average of £82,000. Now, they've said that they think there's a lot more money than that that's been lost, because people, if it has happened to them, are quite reluctant to come forward. People obviously feel quite humiliated by it.
With the average transfer value of £350,000, this is equivalent to a total value of £82.8 billion. They found that suitable advice given by pension advisors fell massively below the rest of the financial industry. 3/4 of the hundreds of thousands of pension transfers in the review are likely to be worse off and should have never left. And because anyone, yes anyone, that has transferred after they turned 55 and before they retired may have been given bad advice, there are millions set aside to pay some of these people back. Why? A few reasons. Number one, the unsuspecting victim feels like they have not been scammed because they received a tax-free lump sum and in some instances were moved to legitimate regulated pension providers that are doing well. The problem is that the performance of these new pensions will never match their old employee pension. Number two, in extreme cases, scam artists and fraudsters who are now either in jail or insolvent cold call people offering a pension review and then received huge commissions by referring people to FCA regulated pension providers, who then made millions by moving people's hard-earned money to worthless investments such as ethical forestry in Costa Rica or holiday property in the Caribbean.
But we know that the age group 45 to 65 are a particularly vulnerable group and are likely to be being targeted. They're the ones that the scammers will have in mind because they will be thinking about what to do in retirement and be thinking about accessing their pensions pot. They're probably the ones that are more vulnerable to things like offers of high returns on the money or some unusual investments. If they sound too good to be true, they probably are.
Number three, these FCA regulated pension providers should never have accepted many of these workplace pension transfers. Because they were regulated, these businesses had an obligation to ensure that the transfers were in the consumer's best interests. And number four, independent financial advisors, also known as IFAs, who were also regulated by the FCA, were advising individuals to move their pensions when that was, as we know, could be wrong. It is no coincidence that 1,681 have had their regulatory permissions revoked. 528 of these are now insolvent. As you can see, this is one of the most shocking and damaging scandals to hit the great British public since the PPI scandal. That is why here at APJ Solicitors, we have made it our mission to get as much money back as we can for the victims of pension mis-selling. So far, we are fighting for millions of pounds in compensation, and we are doing this on a no-win, no-fee basis. Our efforts have led us to being featured or quoted in the Telegraph, the Daily Mirror, the Independent and the Sunday Times. We have a team of over 100 in Cheshire working tirelessly on behalf of our clients, and it is no surprise that we have a Trustpilot rating of 4.8 with almost 250 happy customer reviews. Click the Get Started button below to take our short 1-minute assessment to discover if there is a chance you have been missold. We can then talk you through your options. Remember, if you had an employee pension and received a tax-free lump sum before you retired, you have a good chance of a successful claim. Click now to get started.